Hi, let's do a book review.
Let's do this.
Hi everyone, and welcome to Jimmy Draws Art. I'm Jimmy Dragon. Yes, today we're going to do a book review. This is Manga Art by Ben Krefta. I think that's how you pronounce his name. Yeah, so we're going to be doing a book review. This is the first time I'm actually diving into this book. So I picked this art book up the other night. I wasn't really sure about it myself personally, but it looked very interesting. And it only cost $15. You know, it was a good deal, I think, actually, for that price. So we're going to go ahead and get into this book here. To be honest with you, I didn't really give much of a... All I did was, at the bookstore, was just kind of flip through the book like this. There were a couple images that caught my eye. And maybe, hopefully, through this little flip through right now, you might find a few things that might catch your eye as well, too. So there were a couple images in here that did catch my eye that I thought that maybe let's give this one a try. Here we go. Let's do this. So Manga Art, How to Create Your Own Artwork by Ben Krefta. Let's give this one a go. So we got the contents here. I guess we're going to do introduction, tools and material, drawing heads, drawing faces, drawing hands and feet, drawing figures, clothing and accessories, action, color and tone, designing the page, creating characters, digital color drawing, scanning and adding and cell shading, the soft figure CG, color choice from a fantasy world, under arrest, whatever that's going to mean, futuristic fighter pilot, war games, Gothic lolita, beasts, digital do's and don'ts, and finished works. Art questions and answers, glossary. So yeah, that's the contents it looks like. Introduction. Manga is a term which describes comics produced by Japanese mangaka, or in parentheses, cartoonists, primarily for Japanese audience. This style was developed in Japan during the mid to late 19th century and draws heavily on influences from Western and American comics combined with ideas taken from Japanese art and woodblock prints. In the West, term is often used to describe a particular style of Japanese drawing and art as well as a type of Japanese comic. That's interesting. I actually never knew about the woodblock prints, but that I've always known that manga is taken from some Japanese art as well too. So well, that's a lot of word. That's a lot to read. Manga is just a fad, isn't it? Said one of my art tutors at university. He would perhaps be surprised to see how this particular fad has exploded in popularity in the West. You know, in the past, when I started drawing anime in the early 90s, a lot of my art teachers never really understood me. So I drew a lot of my influence comes from 90s anime. Manga art, games, movies, comics, fashion, and other aspects of Japanese culture now have a loyal and growing following. Yep, they do. Comic shops and pop culture shows and conventions are often attended by devoted fans, sporting costume play, or cosplay as called, outfits of their favorite manga and game characters. So the manga styling. The manga style has gradually evolved over the last century. Yeah, it has. Different styles have changed. Even my style, which was heavily influenced by the 90s, it's changed so dramatically today that it's just crazy. So, like, for instance here, the large eyes. Eyes today are very complicated, it looks like, because they just got more detailed. They are so vibrant today versus like even just 10 years ago. Small noses, flat-looking faces and angular chins, a wide range of hairstyles and eye colors, oversaturated hairstyles, lean body types, exaggerated breast size, emotion interactions, all this stuff, simplified line work, backgrounds and effects, just your manga artist journey. Drawing is a skill that takes a lot of time to master. I would definitely vouch for that. It is a never-ending process of development that can deliver a massive sense of achievement, fun, and excitement, but it can make you feel defeated if things aren't going quite right. They're not the proudest moments of my life. I've had some long breaks in my art career, and that's probably why I'm not where I would like to be. I'm trying to change things. I'm kind of an older person, so for me personally, it's been a struggle in some areas for me. Remember that whether you are 13 or 30, or in my case, 40 over 40, you can already draw. That much I believe. You can be at any age you want and learn to draw, because art isn't talent, it's a skill. And it's a skill that you should develop. If you have a inkling to do it, do it. You're never too old to start, in my opinion. Or you're never too old, in my case, to continue on and keep trying. As long as you're having fun in the journey, that's all that matters. And that's basically what I'm doing too. Every single time I get in front of my table here, in front of my computer here, tablet, whatever I decide to do with my artwork. If I'm having fun doing it, I like it. So let's do it. Alright, let's continue on with this. Before embarking on the tutorials in this book, think about where you are right now. Design yourself a character. Just make it up in your head. This is your starting point. After a few weeks of practice and working through the tutorials, try doing the same thing again and seeing how much you've improved. It's a good idea to always date your work. I date my work all the time, as you see in my videos, either on the paper itself or on a labeled folder on your computer. Every few months, take out all your drawings and lay them out in sequence or post them on your wall. Notice where you've improved and see if you can identify areas that need more. Try turning your drawings upside down or looking at it in a mirror. Areas that aren't working will jump out at you. The idea is to be your own critic. And just a little word of advice. You can be your own worst critic too. If you do see something that pops out and you don't like it, just keep trying, you know? If you're having fun doing it, just do it. But be kind to yourself at the same time. That's kind of what I just said. Take pleasure in your achievements, and if you feel you haven't progressed as much as you've hoped, use that as an incentive to improve rather than to beat yourself up about it. Well, this looks like it's going to be an interesting book, I have to say. So, let's turn to the next page and see what we got on the next page, shall we? Oh look, tools and materials. We have all kinds of tools and materials. So let's see now. We got something in bold here. You can start by creating artwork with just a pencil and eraser and some paper. But I recommend experimenting with different media to discover what suits your style, be it colored pencils, paint markers, or one of the many digital software packages available. Yeah, if you're new to this, just start simple first. Start with the basics like colored pencils, crayons, enjoy yourself. And if you do feel like you want to actually continue on more, dive into the more expensive stuff like putting it on your computer. I actually went ahead and read through this real quickly because I don't want to read it all right now. Basically what this is actually saying, your workspace is important, okay? So definitely find a nice comfortable workspace to sit in, relax, and do your artwork in. I think I like this part right here. A clean, tidy environment can help you unclutter your mind. Yeah, I think it can. That's why I try to keep my environment around here as clean as possible. And another area talks about, typically modern manga artwork will start out with a pencil sketch and later refined using black inks and stuff like that. Whatever you decide to use to refine your artwork is what you will use. So, there's all kinds of tools. So let's get into more of the book and find out what it actually says. Your basic drawing equipment. Pencils. Yes, lots of pencils. All kinds of different pencils. Basic drawing pencil, some colored pencils if you want to use colored pencils to draw. Artists will use red and blue pencils. I've never seen an artist use a green pencil before. And of course other useful tools, I don't know, like a pencil sharpener. Can't go wrong with a good pencil sharpener. Templates and rulers. Templates and rulers, yeah. Okay, this next part, I'm just going to basically just run through this book now real quickly. If you really want to get more into this book, I would probably suggest maybe even picking it up yourself. It was only $15, so ink, markers, and paints. Paints using acrylic paints, probably, brushes. And of course we have digital. Most of us already have computers, so you can probably go ahead and get into this pretty easily enough, hopefully. It can also get pretty expensive pretty quickly. Well, then again, even traditionally, it can also get expensive pretty quickly too, so. Next page is drawing heads. Heads come in various shapes and sizes determined by the character's age, gender, physique, or simply by the many different manga styles we can use and all that wonderful stuff. So yeah, let's see how he describes drawing heads. Drawing heads from different angles. The female head front view. Okay, now we actually have like a step-by-step thing here going for how to draw the head. And then he goes into the male head, angled version this time. So we have an angled version male head here going. Male head side view. So we have a side angle view, how to do that. I'll probably take this more into detail myself. Drawing faces. So we have all kinds of faces we could probably learn to draw. So starting with the eyes, there's all kinds of different eyes. Constructing the eyes. Here we go. See? It's kind of interesting how he's constructing the eyes. He does the V-shape thing here. It's real nice looking. Noses, mouth, and ears. Expressions and emotions. This is something I still struggle with a lot. I have a problem drawing my emotions on paper and stuff. This is something I'm actually going to be practicing hopefully in the next few videos and stuff like that in the future. So yeah, more expressions and emotions. Drawing hair. So we've got all kinds of different hairstyles going there. Additional face styles. So we got all kinds of little different face styles going here. Drawing hands and feet. Hands. Constructing the hands. So we got all kinds of different little guides to figure out how to do hands. Different feet styles. Drawing figures. Yep, now we're getting into the anatomy part. Must admit, those are some very form-fitting clothing. So now we're getting in basic shapes and proportions here. This is always important. Body height, 6 to 8 heads tall. I find for my style as well too, when it comes to the head height, I usually go 6.5, maybe 7 heads tall for my figures. The female pose front view. And yes, drawing that very form-fitting outfit. Obviously, probably to be able to see what's going on with the figure, which is good. Male pose 3/4 view, so we got him as well too, getting awfully form-fitting as well too, very form-fitting. Rear view, female pose, and we got the end pose right there. Clothing and accessories. Yeah, clothing is another way to show who your character is and their personality and how they are. So clothing, got different styles of clothing in here. Dressing a character. We got all kinds of different outfits here. Female underwear, sailor outfit, a kimono, a maid's outfit. Different accessories here. Weapons. Action. Action is the next one. Falling, running, swinging, fighting. Okay, next is color and tone. Color theory. Well, it is important. You really do need to know color theory. It's something I should really get myself back into and learning again myself. Lights and shades. We have some inking going on here. Designing the page. I guess if you're doing comics and stuff, this is definitely something you might want to look into. Page construction and planning. So yeah, pretty much storyboarding of comic book pages maybe. Page construction, pencil and ink. Yep, sure enough, basically penciling out your page and of course adding the ink to the page as well too. Page construction, gray tones. Page construction, color pages. So it looks like this next section is creating characters. So the first section on creating characters is quick sketches. You know, it's basically part of the planning process of creating characters. I would do the same thing too, you know, just sketch out a quick little drawing of an idea that I might have in the back of my mind somehow. Okay, next section is basically finding ideas. So I'm assuming basically just coming up with ideas for your characters and how they may interact and stuff. When it comes to finding ideas, I just find ideas wherever they just pop up. Character design basics. And it looks like we have examples of characters. Like for instance, we have the medieval warrior. This next idea is the Japanese nurse. Another idea is manga monsters. Pokemon? Kind of looks like a Pokemon. Next section is creating a mecha. And of course this next section is digital color drawing. Basically it looks like going through the steps. It looks like he probably uses Photoshop over here. Technology basics. Familiarize yourself with the program that you want to use. This program, not sure what this one is. This one's definitely Photoshop, you could definitely tell. And this one is Paint to Sai. I've never used that one before, but that's another option to use. So I guess he goes around here and talks about all the hardware that you could probably use for your computer. You know, to be honest with you, I'm using a computer here that it's 10 years old now. So you can pretty much use a pretty old computer and be okay with probably what you want to do. Okay, so next page, 32 and 64-bit processors. He's going really into technical stuff about, you know, what you really need to use. Monitor, printer, scanner, your workspace. And if you do get into digital art, you definitely might want to get one of these guys, a graphics tablet. And it looks like he goes through an introduction of Photoshop here. Alright, Photoshop tools. Looks like more Photoshop tools. And he explains what are layers in Photoshop. So, alright, talking about saving images. Save! Yeah, save often. Scanning, adding color, and cell shading. Face sketch. This next page is called scanning. And of course, cleaning up the scan. Preparing to CG. Or color. Okay, the next page, the soft CG figure. This one I had a question about in the table of contents. So, I guess you get this soft shading look. Yeah, so it looks like he's just basically using a softer brush to get the look. And here you go, shading of the clothing, shading the hair in that style, and of course he goes through finishing off here. A body sketch using reference. You know, it's okay to use a reference. Definitely use a reference. Because there's some myth going around, I'm hearing from some people, that says that you shouldn't use a reference. Who the heck says that? Seriously. Use a reference. If you're new to art, use a reference. I mean, even this pose right here. If you asked me to draw this by memory, yeah, right. It looked like a mess. Digital inking. I did a video a while back ago too. Maybe I'll link it here as well too. When I made fun of myself of using the term digital inking. Because is it really inking? Because you're not really using ink, you know? I just have to laugh at that, that's all. Color choice. So we have some contrast drawings, monochromatic, the influence of light, focus, color palettes, color examples. That's impressive. Pretty impressive looking too. I like that one. Technical color issues, screen versus print. That's another nice drawing. I like that one too. I'm a sucker for a nice drawing. What can I say? Next page. Form a fantasy world. So, character rendering. Let's see. Basically some more going through digital coloring, it looks like. Yeah, I like that character design. She's really nice looking. Very nice. Very nice. Guess it looks like he's going through the steps on how to put in a pattern into your drawing. That's a real nice step he's showing here. Under arrest. Oh no, don't arrest me. Please don't. No. Basically, yep, just looks like he's adding in a character that's kind of like supposed to be a cop or detective. Okay, that's what this is all about here. Adding sound effects into the drawing. Pretty nice. Oh look, word bubbles. I know you're around here somewhere. Futuristic fighter pilot. I guess she goes with that one mech drawing that was in the beginning of the book somewhere. Symmetry. So yeah, duplicate and flip. There you go. He's also talking about creating a foreground reflection here. Yeah, you could do that too. Interesting. War games. So it looks like he's going through and rendering a Solid Snake style character. Adding camouflage and patterns to your drawing. Yep, he adds the camouflage, the patterns. This next page looks like he's going through his examples of Gothic Lolita. Gothic Lolita. Gothic Lolita style. So yeah, basically going through all the steps of creating that style. Adding overlays, adjusting colors, adding a photo background. I've done that before. It's a little cheat if you don't want to actually draw a background. Next page, beasts. Mutant zombie. Going through more of the mutant zombie here. Pretty cool looking character. Maybe I might want to draw that. Maybe. Werewolf. So if you want to draw a werewolf, nice little werewolf design. You know, this book is pretty nice if you're just looking for ideas and stuff and what to do and stuff like that. So, yeah, it's pretty nice so far. Leviathan. Pretty nice image at the end of that one. The Digital's do's and don'ts. Alright, so common pitfalls. And looks like he's going through some troubleshooting using dodge and burn, lens flare, the overuse of filters. So now we're getting into finished works. Let's see what he's got for finished works. So, Manga Fantasies. It's got some nice art here. The Cyber Police, Gothic Halloween, Eternal Descent. So it looks like he's just basically going through some finished works that he's done for this book. That's a nice drawing. That's a nice drawing. It was pretty nice to see some finished works of his. So let's continue on. Art questions and answers. And that's the end. There's the glossary. So that's the end of the book. So I hope you enjoyed it. This will be definitely a nice addition to my art collection that I have over here. There's a bookshelf that I have that is full of art books, whether it be just, you know, art books of pictures I like to actually look at, or the occasional art instruction book that I picked up too over the years. I got a small collection, and this will be a nice addition to that. So I thank you for getting this far into the video. Please give this video a like. If you can, please also subscribe to the channel if you want more content like this from me in the future. With that said, thank you for watching this video all the way through to the end. It really helps me out a lot. And we'll catch you in the next video. Thanks, and bye-bye. Sometimes doing all this as a one-man operation is a little difficult.